Good morning. This particular video is shot in eViews 8 as you can see, and in this video we are going to execute the auto-regressive moving average or ARMA model to forecast stock market's future price or future closing. You can see here there is a eViews. As you open the eViews, you can see this open a foreign file. So Excel is called a foreign file. I have kept the file in my desktop. So I will select my file. This file actually has the adjusted close price downloaded from Yahoo Finance of Standard and Poor 500. The timeline starts from 6th May 2019 and the timeline finishes on 5th May on 2020. So this data series has got 254 observations in it. So we will click this next. We can see the adjusted close, finish. Now here this adjusted close is a name. I will change this name with this rename option, ADGCL. Adjusted close is changed to ADGCL. Now I will open this file for you. You can see this file, and now I will go to this options, quick estimate equation. I'm holding it for a second so that you can note quick and estimate equation. So now this window opens. In this window I have to write the algorithm. So let me write the algorithm first, then I will make you understand the logic. So the algorithm is written ADJCL, that is the adjusted close, then a small c. What is small c? Small c represents the unknown or undefined relationship. Then I have given AR. AR is the auto-regressive element, and I have put 1 in the bracket. 1 means lag 1. In the previous videos, I have taught you what is lag 1, lag 2, lag 3, what is the concept of autocorrelation. So anybody who's directly coming to this video are requested to first see those 2-3 videos before coming to this particular video. MA stands for moving average, again lag 1. Here the method is LS, least square, which is means regression, NLS and ARMA. So I'm using ARMA model. So here you can see basically this ADGCL is the dependent variable, and I have got two independent parameters. One is AR1 and another one is MA1. So okay. So we will find this result here. Just follow what I am doing. This is probability, and AR1 has a probability 0. So P0 means significance is 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0 means 100%. And here also 0.0003, so almost 100%. That means the significance of these AR1 and MA1 both are close to 100%. AR1 is absolutely 100%, MA1 is close to 100%, definitely more than 95%. So that means that AR1 and MA1 can definitely predict ADJCL. That means they can predict the index price closing tomorrow. So I have taken the data. Last date was 5th of May 2020. So if 6th of May 2020 value we want to predict, this particular relationship help us to predict that value. Since the data is taken on a daily basis, so prediction is also on a daily basis. Now let's see how robust is this prediction. Is it a good prediction or not so good prediction? So first of all, R square is not very important here, though it is showing 93.7, almost 94%. 94% R square means if we run this test 100 times, almost 94 times it will give the correct answer and 6 times it will give the not correct answer, incorrect answer. But since this is not a uh, straightforward movement, and stock markets are never straightforward, anybody can know, and we have already studied in different other videos the different assumptions of ordinary least square regression, OLS. So we clearly know that this particular prediction cannot be linear, it is non-linear. Since it is non-linear, so we have to shift our focus from R square to these three friends. Archaic info criterion, we call it AIC. Schwarz criterion, we call it SC. And Hannan-Quenon criterion, we call it HQ. Now I want to write something here, very interesting thing. So let me write it. So A I C. It means how much power you require to penalize the errors. I repeat, how much power do you require to penalize the errors? So if you require high power to penalize the errors so that the errors come down, so AIC value will be high. Suppose you see AIC value of 700, that means lot of power or force is required to reduce the error. But suppose you observe that AIC value is 2 or 3 or even minus for that matter, that means very less power is required to cut down or reduce the error. Here AIC value is 10, we can see here. In fact, SC value and HQ values are also 10. Interestingly here, these has a lower range and a higher range. But generally what industry does, industry considers these values between, suppose, let me write it here. Industry considers it from 5 and below 5 is excellent. So 5 and below 5 values are excellent. Above 5 up to 10 are good values. So above 5 or up to 10, this is also good values, acceptable values. Above 10 is taken with a pinch of salt. So above 10 is not so good. It is taken with a pinch of salt. Now another thing we have to understand here, that this is a relative model. This is not a this is not a abstract model. What is relative model and what is abstract model? Relative model means, suppose your friend has done some uh, calculation, forecasting, and in your friend's model the AIC is 6 and in your model AIC is 7. Then which model is better? Your friend's model is better because the AIC value is 6. This is relative. AIC is relative. AIC, SC, Hannan-Quenon, these measurements are relative and they show only one thing, they show how robust it is. Now moving into this particular value, since we see that AIC values are 10.79, Schwarz or SC is 10.83, Hannan-Quenon is about 10.80, so that means they are above 10. Above 10 means that accuracy will start reducing if you use it for a longer period. So industry, what generally people do in these cases, they keep on doing this prediction almost every day because the AIC is on a higher side, marginally higher side, not substantially high, but marginally on the higher side. So what they do, they generally again do the prediction or forecasting on the next day or maybe after 3-4 days. Why? Because if suppose AIC SC and HQ are 1 or 2, that means it is extremely robust. Now let me take you to residual. So in the previous videos, I have told you a lot about the residual. It is the gap between the predicted and the actual. You see here, month 5 means the month of May of 2019. This is June of 2019, July of 2019, up to 2020 M2, M1 rather, that is first month, January. Up to 2020 January, the residuals were bound in a small range from here till here. You can see the upper range and you can see the lower range. So within a small range, it was range bound. But as coronavirus struck, immediately you can see it has gone to extreme low levels and extreme high levels. That means prediction is going haywire. So what we learn from here, then in a normal condition, so if you just calculate up to this point, suppose after the first month of 2020, so when normal condition prevails, then ARMA is a very efficient tool for prediction. But the moment the condition becomes volatile and the condition becomes catastrophic event is striking. So catastrophic event has struck somewhere here, you can see, and this is 19th of February 19 to 2020. So 19 to 2020 onwards, you can see this zone, the entire prediction mechanism goes for a toss. So what we learn here, that normal zone time, normal time, regular time, ARMA model is pretty good. You will be able to predict the market. And let me go back to stats again. You'll be able to predict very well. Now how will you predict? So I'll go to view and I'll go to representation. This is the equation through which you will predict. Substituted coefficients equation. So in this equation, statistician put this value of autoregressive coefficient, what is mentioned here. Statistician put the value of moving average coefficient, which is mentioned here, and they calculate the next day closing. This is pretty efficient, as you have seen. Unlike in those situations which have catastrophic situation like this, or black swan situation, which we will learn in any other video. This is not a bad black swan situation, though many people are calling. This is a catastrophic situation. Coronavirus is a catastrophic situation. So under such catastrophic situation, these cannot predict. So we have learned how to use ARMA model to predict, how to understand the model is robust or not robust, and we have also understood that what is the limitation of the model, when the model work well and when the model fail. Thank you very much. I would request all of you to download some time series data of different time series in the world. I have taken from Standard & Poor 500 from Yahoo Finance, and then you can conduct the same test and probably you can share the results with me. Thank you very much for taking your time out and going through the video.